What is going on, y'all? This is Mr. T, and today we're going to be playing some Pokemon Go. Alright guys, so I'm going to talk about evolving Pokemon today. And I'm going to share with you a couple of tips that I found for evolving Pokemon. And also I'm going to show you a couple of evolutions today just because I think they're pretty cool. And I haven't gotten to see any of these evolutions yet. So I'm going to be evolving Pokemon for the first time. But I'm going to tell you everything that I know about evolving your Pokemon. So the first thing is Pokemon candies. So Pokemon candies are basically when you catch a Pokemon or when you transfer a Pokemon, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, you get a certain amount of candies. When I caught this Nidoran girl, I received 3 Nidoran candies, and you can see that they're on the bottom right on top of the power up button. Nidoran candies, I have 22 of them because I've caught a bunch of Nidoran girls from the Nidoran girl family. Now, the reason I talk about family candies is because when I caught this Nidorina, for example, right over here, when I caught this Nidorina, I still got Nidoran candies for her. You can see that it says Nidoran candies, not Nidorina candies. That means that if I catch a Nidorina, or I catch a Nidoran girl, or somehow I catch a Nidoqueen, I'm still going to receive Nidoran girl candies. Now, you may wonder why the candies are important. The candies are important because it allows you to evolve your Pokemon. You can see here, if I go back to this Nidoran girl, if I want to evolve her to a Nidorina, I'm going to need 25 Nidoran girl candies. I'm only 3 away, which means that I only need to catch 1 more Nidorina. Now, there's another way that I can evolve them as well, and there's another way that I can do that as well. Is instead of evolving my Nidoran girl, I could evolve my Nidorina to a Nidoqueen. But you can see here that she requires 100 Nidoran girl candies to go from Nidorina to Nidoqueen. So how do you make the decision to evolve either this Nidoran girl or the Nidorina? It's not as simple, because if I go over here to Magikarp, I'm going to go to Magikarp to show you one thing. Magikarp requires 400 Magikarp candies to evolve into a Gyarados. And that kind of makes sense because Gyarados is pretty overpowered and is a pretty strong Pokemon that a lot of people probably want. So, the decision to evolve your Pokemon is made based on your personal preference and on moveset. Now, I'm going to talk about moveset in a second, but I'm going to move on to point number 2. Point number 2 is transferring your Pokemon. The reason you want to transfer your Pokemon is because if I have this Nidoran girl and I only need 3 more Nidoran candies to evolve her into a Nidorina, I can do that right now. Now, I like this Nidoran girl, and my decision to decide which Pokemon I'm going to transfer is based on the moves that these Pokemon have. So, this Nidoran girl has Bite and Sludge Bomb. She's also CP 32. CP is your combat power. You can see there that there's a ring right on top of where the Nidoran girl is moving around there. There's a little ring. It's the CP 32. The ring is very close to the beginning, the little semicircle. Now, in this Nidoran girl, CP 173 is the combat power. You can see that she has a higher hit point. It's basically the level of your Pokemon, and it's closer to the end. So if I continue to level up this Nidoran girl, she's eventually going to cap out at the end of the semicircle and not be able to level up anymore. So you want to evolve her because it makes your Nidoran or your Pokemon stronger. Obviously, you want to evolve your Pokemon so that it increases the cap in the combat power and you're able to continue to increase them. So, now, I'm going to transfer some of these Nidoran girls because I do not want all of them. I am going to keep 1 Nidoran girl. I'm going to keep this one because it has a high combat power and 2 moves that I like. The reason I want to keep Bite and Body Slam is because although there is no Stab in this game, and Stab is, for example, my Nidoran girl is a poison type Pokemon. If I were to use Sludge Bomb or another poison type move, normally in the actual Pokemon games, there will be an increase in the power that Nidoran can do for being a poison type and using a poison type move. Now that does not exist in Pokemon Go, so there is no stab or added boost at all. However, there is super effective moves. That means that if I use a dark type move against a psychic Pokemon, which normally in the games dark is super effective against psychic, that would still be the case. So I want to keep moves that are not normal types because normals are not super effective to anything. So I'm going to go back on what I said before. I don't want to evolve that Nidoran girl. I want to keep this one though. It has 2 poison types. Or maybe I want to keep this one. It has a dark and a poison type. But Poison Fang isn't a very strong move. Or maybe this one, poison and normal. No, I don't want to keep that one. This one has dark bite attack and a nice sludge bomb attack. So even though this is the Nidoran girl with the lowest combat power, for me personally, combat power isn't important because when I evolve her into a Nidoqueen at some point, I want the Pokemon with the best moves, not necessarily with the highest combat power yet, because that I can train myself, but I cannot train the moves. So I'm going to keep this Nidoran girl. I start her, I'm going to transfer this Nidoran, and what you see here is when I transfer her, I'm going to get back 1 Nidoran candy. Alright, I'm going to trade another Nidoran girl, and I'm going to get back another Nidoran candy. There we go, so now I have 24. I'm going to trade one last one, and I'm going to get back another Nidoran candy. So there you see that I traded 3 Nidoran girls, and now I transferred them to the professor, and that means they're gone forever. Unfortunately, they do get released back into the wild. However, you can now see that I have 25 Nidoran candies. I can now evolve this Nidoran girl into a Nidoqueen, into a Nidorina. Sorry about that. But I'm going to save my Nidoran candies because I can also use those 25 Nidoran candies to evolve this Nidorina into the Nidoqueen. Now, I'm not sure which one I want to evolve yet. I know that when you evolve your Pokemon, the moves do change. Either Poison Sting or Sludge Bomb could change into a different move. Now, I'm not going to decide that yet. I'm not going to evolve this Nidoran or Nidorina in this video. I'm going to do it in a future one. Now, the question that you want to ask yourself is, how do you know which Pokemon to transfer? Now, that's really up to you. I base it on moves, not on combat power, but the gist of it is you got to transfer your duplicates. Any Pokemon duplicate that you have is a Pokemon that you don't need necessarily, unless you want to keep a few of them for whatever reason if they have really nice moves. But the ones that you don't need, transfer them out. You don't need a bunch of Nidoran girls in your party, or unless that's what you want. Now, point number 3 is actually evolving your Pokemon. So I'm going to summarize some of the things that I said before. So you evolve your Pokemon, maybe based on combat power, that's up to you. However, Pokemon have different moves. You want to choose moves that are balanced, so there is no stab, so having a poison type move on a poison Pokemon doesn't give it extra power. However, having a nice mix, for example, a dark and a poison type move in a Pokemon, gives a coverage, more super effective coverage against other Pokemon. Now, there is a chart that shows which moves are super effective against what, and I can leave a link to that in the bottom of this video. Now, another thing that you notice here is this Nidorina says that she is extra large, so her weight is extra large. Now, there has been some misconception in the public space about whether this matters or not. I think it may play some sort of a role in terms of the Pokemon's health points, so maybe larger Pokemon may have more health points. However, there are proof for both sides of the spectrum. There's either some people that say that the weight and the height do play a role into HP, but then there's also actual proof as to weight and height not playing a role into HP. I'm gonna put both of those up in this video so you can see the difference. In this Magikarp, you can see that although one has a higher combat power and a higher weight, it does not have a higher HP. Now on the other side, it does have a lower combat, or about the same combat power and a higher weight, and you can see that one of the Pokemon has a higher HP. Now, this all depends on the Pokemon itself, but it is not necessarily as cut and dry as it seems. Now, the last part of this video is I want to evolve some Pokemon because I haven't really gotten the chance to do that. I'm going to go over here to my Ekans. There's a bunch of Ekans by around where I live, and I chose to evolve this Combat Power 51, my weakest Ekans, into an Arbok because it has two moves that I like. It has both Acid and Sludge Bomb. I like Sludge Bomb because of how it charges up, and I like Acid because it does quite a bit of damage as a first move. I'm not going to talk about those little blue bars in the moves yet. I'm going to talk about those in a future video. I'm going to evolve this Ekans, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's check this out. Alright, so Ekans is evolving. And Ekans is now an Arbok. Look at that. That looks awesome. Woo! Alright, so Arbok has been registered in the Pokedex. I've never had an Arbok before. That is awesome. So see, now one of Arbok's moves changed into Bite. So while before this Arbok had Acid on it, it now has Bite. Therefore, that gives me a little bit more coverage and allows me to use my second move as well, which also changed. My second move changed into Gunk Shot. So although before I did not want to evolve one of the Ekans because it had a move that I didn't necessarily want, now I have two entirely different moves. So you can see there that you can evolve Pokemon based on the moves. However, a lot of times the moves may change. So it is really up to you, I guess, in that regard. Now I'm gonna evolve one of these Zubats down here into a Golbat because I have a bunch of Zubats. And again, I'm choosing to evolve this Zubat. Wow. No, not this Zubat. That's not the one that I wanted. It was one of the top ones. It wasn't this one because it has Quick Attack and Sludge Bomb. I don't necessarily want those moves. This one has Quick Attack and Air Cutter. Good moves, but I believe I wanted to evolve, yeah, this one, because it has Bite and Sludge Bomb. Again, good coverage between those two different moves. It has a pretty high combat power. So, oh, but see, I cannot evolve this Zubat yet. I need one more Zubat candy. So that means that I'm going to need to get rid of a Zubat, and I have a bunch here, so I'm going to just pick one. I'm going to transfer it in so that I can get that last Zubat candy to be able to evolve it. I'm going to transfer it in. Alright, so we're back, and we were able to transfer over the Zubats. So I'm going to evolve this Zubat into a Golbat, and let's see it be done here. Alright, so Zubat is going in. Bye, Zubat. I'm gonna come back as a big old Golbat, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna take on some gym leaders at some point with this Golbat. Yeah! I'm so excited about having a Golbat. One of my favorite Pokemon is Crobat, and I hope that they come out with an update at some point that I can evolve him into Crobat. And that's gonna be in a while probably, guys. But I now have a Golbat, and this Golbat, both of the attacks changed to Wing Attack and Ominous Wind. Those are awesome attacks. Wing Attack is a nice flying attack, and Ominous Wind is an excellent ghost attack. So I'm very happy about that evolution. And we're going to evolve one last one, and this last one's pretty close to what I like. So I'm going to evolve this Eevee into a Jolteon. The reason I'm going to evolve her into a Jolteon is because I really like Jolteon. One of my favorite Pokemon growing up as a kid was Jolteon. Maybe it's because I'm a guy, but I actually really do love Vaporeon and Flareon. They're also very great Pokemon. My favorite one is actually Espeon. However, we don't have access to that one yet. So I'm going to evolve this Eevee into a Jolteon, and let's see it happen here, guys. Oh wait, it didn't let me pick. So I'm not sure how it's going to evolve. It didn't let me pick which one it evolved into. Alright, so I'm not sure if I did something wrong or if it just evolves randomly. However, my Eevee just evolved into a Vaporeon, and you know what? I'm happy about that too. It's a Pokemon I didn't have before. So it evolved into a Vaporeon, and those Water Gun and Hydro Pump, those are both great moves. And there you go. I guess that just kind of happened that way. So I'm okay with that too. I do have a Vaporeon, and I have a bunch more Eevees, so I may be able to catch a couple more and transfer some in to be able to evolve this one into a Vaporeon, or maybe into an Espeon or a Flareon, since I don't have those yet. So I hope that you like this video, y'all. If you like this video, please leave a like in the section below, and leave a comment on what more content you'd like to see from me. I want to do a couple of gym battles as we go along. This is Mr. T. Don't forget to subscribe, y'all. Peace.